Just had such anxiety. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I don't know what I had to push it.
I pushed it.
It didn't work.
No,
I pushed it and it
didn't
worked.
work.
I don't know.
I was like, oh my gosh, I started the timer and then I pushed go live. And then the whole time I'm looking at the thing and it just says scheduled. And I was like, why is it not switching to live? Why is it not switching to live?
I saw you doing
this.
You were like,
I was like, why does it say that? It shouldn't say that thing.
So I was like, well, I'll push it because we're already 30 seconds in and it's still not live.
It went live at like 17 seconds. I was like, oh no. I had genuine anxiety. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here on this Friday evening. I am joined by Amber and Caitlin. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves? I feel like everybody knows you, but do it.
It's like you're holding us up here.
I'm Amber. My channel name is Amber's Books and More, but you probably shouldn't go find me because I don't really post very much. I do want to start vlogging my writing process, but as of right now, I only have like one video per 6 months or so. So it's doing great. Yeah, but that's it. And I'm here. I'm so excited to be celebrating A Curse and Ash 1-year anniversary.
Yay! It's exciting. Hi, I'm Caitlin Duncan. I'm here on YouTube as Caitlin Duncan, and I talk about the writing process and all the bookish things. And I have Gizzy here tonight. She decided to join us, and I'm so excited. Julie, did you get it? I sent Julie a little present, and we just got it. She's muted, but.
Aww.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm live. So
yeah.
Bing.
So let us know in the comments, everyone, while we're waiting. Have you read Julie's book? Are you excited to? Have you picked it up? Let us know all the bookish things. We do have a game going on, right, Amber? You know more information about that.
Yeah, if you look at the description down below, there is links for a bingo board and a quiz. And with both, you can win fabulous prizes. I'm sure that Julie will list off what the prizes are as soon as she's back on live with us.
It was if you already generated your bingo board and you had interrupted by Yaya, you may check off that particular part of it.
Oh, yes. But it was a good interruption.
It was the best interruption, Kate. You did not have to do this. This is ridiculous.
Can I see it? I saw the picture, but I want to see what it looks like in real life.
I'm trying to take it out of the basket and get the cellophane off so that it's not absolutely annoyingly loud. But it is gorgeous. Shut up.
It's a fairy cat.
It's a fairy cat. Oh. And it is possibly the cutest thing. It looks like it has little paws.
Yeah.
It is so
Look
cute.
at his little face. I don't want to get water from the thing onto my keyboard, but it's very
sweet. It came out cute.
It's so cute.
And then I got balloons.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm glad it came right on time.
It came super on time. You're like, did you get something? I was like, no.
I was like,
I was going for a walk anyway. I'm like, okay. I'm going to put it right in front of me and stare at his little face. It has a little crown on. Stop it. Okay, I'm sorry. Distractions aplenty. But yes, in the description down below, there is a link to generate a bingo board. And then there's also a link for a quiz. Now, because I wasn't paying for a quiz generator website, they were not cheap. It's only for the first 40 people to enter. There's 10 of you here, so I think that's going to be fine. But the first 40 people to fill that out can qualify for winning some prizes. The prizes are listed down below. However, if you get bingo at any point during the night, you can comment with the hashtag bingo sprint. If you want to be a guest on one of the sprints that Amber and I do on Sunday nights, you can come and be on screen with us and help motivate other people. You can comment hashtag bingo name or your name in book 3, which I'm currently editing, so there's plenty of time for that. Or you can comment hashtag bingo bundle, and that is for tarot cards, bookplates, bookmark, and little swaggy things that I have. So you can get all that by winning the bingo game. And then the quiz, the top 3 winners, whoever gets the most questions right the soonest. So if like multiple people get all the questions correct, it'll just be whoever fills it out, first. The first 3 people I will contact via email to pick from multiple different prizes. I have an annotated copy of A Curse in Ash. I have the Unplugged exclusive of A Curse in Ash, and I have a 30-minute pick my brain, whatever topic you want to talk about, we can chat. So those are the prizes for the night.
Very exciting.
Yes. Very exciting. So let us know when you get bingo. If you want a specific prize, you just comment that hashtag. And if you don't care which one you get or you want more chances to win, you can use all 3. It doesn't matter. Just know one person is going to win more than once. So that's it. That was all the maintenance. But the pinned comment reminds you to look in the description. Everything's in the description. And thank you to Jess from the Hex Library, because she put the bingo board together for me after I came up with all the little prompts. So thank you. And thank you to Amber and Caitlin for being here with me, who have made it into the acknowledgments of both of my books, because I would be lost without them. They are fantastic. And if you have not found your writing community and your writer friends yet, I implore you to do so. And maybe check out the Writer's Hive, because, it's pretty great, and we can help you find your community. But like, there's nothing better than writer friends. So let's see who's here. Hi, Semele. That's my cousin. She's kind of awesome.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Hi, Maisie. Hello, Cool Gamer. Hi, Kay. And Jess is here. And Amy's here. Hello, hello. Oh, no. I'm going to fail the quiz. I haven't read the first book because I have series so that I can binge them. That makes sense. And I understand that. But it is based on book 1. So you have to have read book 1 to, get the questions correct. So
you can guess, and you might accidentally guess all correct. Who knows? You
might get them right. You never know. But at the very least, you could do the bingo board if you want to hang out and chit-chatty with us. And that's fine too. That's fantastic. If you have any questions at any point, feel free to shove them in the comments. But I'm just going to kind of chat with you guys. It's going to be super informal. We're just going to chill. And I just want to talk to friends, because it's been a year. It's been quite a year. Oh, I am so excited that you're here. That sounds intense. Hopefully we can get to bed soon. This is not going to be like our 2-3 hour kind of a situation. We're going to probably cap it, because your girl's got book 3 to work on.
Only you, Julie. And try to leave a party to go work.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. We're not going to have any more of these if I can't finish more books.
It's true.
That's the kicker, right? Because book 2 just came out. You're still editing book 3, and if book 3 wants to be out next year, you got to work on it.
You got to work on it. You guys, the journey is going to continue for book 2, for Prophecy, for those of you who have purchased it. And I know a good number of you have, because I signed your books at my bookstore. So thank you for everybody who went to my local bookstore and supported my indie. I know Amy did and Semele did. I appreciate you, Jess did. So thank you. But it's book 1's fantastic. Book 2, I'm not going to say I peaked, but it's good. Just saying.
No, but you did have a better idea. You didn't have to rewrite it 3 or 4 times before you got to the final product.
It's very true.
Because you understood what you had, what kind of characters, what kind of story you had. So it definitely was not easy, but it was easier. And not as and a lot easier than book 3 has been for you. So
it only took 1 year instead of 4, right?
Yeah.
We also interrupted our drafting process by fast drafting, which we determined
was a mistake.
Does not work for us.
No, that was a mistake. But that's okay. I'm not going to mess with what I know works anymore. I'm going to let it be. Thank you, Kat. Bingo name. I love Maisie. It's a great name. If you have talk of book 3 on your bingo.
Mm.
Or Julie takes a drink of something, because we knew that was going to happen, and it happened very fast. Hi, Bree.
I'm still waiting on my main point books. It's not coming till Monday. I'm ready for it.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, mine came yesterday. That one's.
Yeah. I was hopeful that because some people that were living further away had gotten theirs from Main Point, that Amber might get it in time for the show. But
yeah, but I'm also
it did not happen.
further away than Kate. So
yes. And Amy, I think Amy got hers. Semile's even further.
Texas is a lot further than Connecticut from Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Semele, I think, is the furthest. So when she gets it, we'll know everybody should have it.
Yeah.
He'll be there tomorrow.
Nice.
Hi, Zoe.
Mine might update. Mine sometimes it'll update the day of all of a sudden and be like, oh, it's coming today.
Yes. Book 2 ebook should have released without any kind of hitches. For whatever reason, there's a supply chain issue with Amazon, and Amazon is not shipping out as fast as I would like them to. Some of them are still shipping out, because I do know some people that did get them from Amazon. However, it's still saying that like shipping is going to be possibly up till like November 7th, between like the 28th and the 7th of November, 28th of October nuts. And 7th of November. I don't know why. It's very frustrating, but it used to say December, if that makes you feel any better.
I think it's because there's a supply chain problem with the paper. What is it? The cream paper. They've had, because even Lulu had an issue with cream paper. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. Unplugged came on release day, and Bree got her.
I think I got mine the day after release day. I think I got mine Wednesday.
Yeah. I did get mine, and I haven't opened it yet because I needed to wait until I look human. But I'm very excited because, in terms of book 2 for the Unplugged, one, it was very strange having it released the same time or earlier than the regular edition, because last time it was like an October release and then a January Unplugged, which was a very large span of time. And then also we decided all together to do 4 different candles. So no matter which box you got, whether the single box or the double box, there was a candle in there that was themed for the books. And I was able to get all 4 of them. Very excited to see them all. Very excited to do all the sniffs.
That'd be a nice unboxing.
I know. That was one of the things that, like, I don't know why, but it's like one of those like markers is just like having merch for your book just feels so surreal. So I like that, it didn't necessarily happen with a Cursonash, but that's okay. It happened with this one, and I'm very happy with it.
I know we've had conversations about, in the past, not recently, but in the past, about what we view as like something that we want. We were trying to manifest like things that we wanted for our careers. And one of the things that you said was to have merch, but specifically a candle for your book. Like you really wanted a themed candle for your book. So I'm so glad that it got to happen.
I'm a candle girl. So yeah, that was really cool.
That was like 4 or 5 years ago that you said that. Like you're like, I want a candle.
I think that was one of the, I wanted merch, specifically a candle. And the idea that anybody would put time into making fan art was like wild to me. And then that did happen for Cursonash. I got some like really cool fan art from people. So that was really cool. But yeah, it's strange what you qualify as success. By all accounts, I had a very successful first year with a Cursonash, and I'm very, very happy with the way that it went. I'm thrilled with Unplugged. It was great working with them, but I'm also thrilled with my sales just in general that generated throughout the year. And it was, a very successful showing from everybody. So I appreciate you and thank you. Naturally, book 2s don't do as well because people drop off in the series, which is totally fine. Or people wait until the whole series is out before they start reading, which I understand as well, because I am an evil person and I do put cliffhangers at the end of every book. So like, I get it. Sometimes it's just nice to have them all there and then you don't have to worry about it. But it has been a very wonderful experience. And so I do thank everybody, because it would not be happening if the readers were not there. So I appreciate you.
I wish more people got to see the background of authors and when they're working, but specifically when someone figures out a cliffhanger ending as they're finishing the book. and you look over and they're like this, and you're like, "What's the matter?" And they're like, "I did a thing. I just did this thing," and you're like, "Oh my god, I love that thing." Yes, it needed that.
And people will hate
Yeah.
me for this if it's
Yeah.
a
They
series.
will be so mad. So it was 4 years of writing and rewriting. I think 3 different full rewrites of over 100,000+ words for book 1. And it wasn't until the very, very last iteration, like the last chapter that I wrote of the first iteration, where like
A big
Maggie
thing
happens.
A big
Yeah,
thing
a thing happened. And it was one of those moments where I was like, something happened. And I never understood, as somebody who plans out my books and doesn't kind of like, I wouldn't call myself a pantser. So like when things come up that surprise me in books, it surprises me, because I usually have it all pretty figured out before I go into it. But there was another one of those moments at the very end of book 2.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happened, where I was like, oh no, I did a thing. It has
I know.
consequences.
And I'm like, that way that you felt writing those scenes and it surprised you, but you realized how good it was and how much it made sense for the story. I was like, that is like crack to a pantser, because we feel that way the entire book. And we're just like, oh my God, yes, this thing happened. This thing happened.
Yeah.
That's what we live for as a pantser.
It gives me anxiety, because I was like, this was not part of the plan. This changes too much. And then I'm like, no, I can do it. I can handle it. I'm just staring at my little cat fairy. There's no way for me to get it like in screen, but it's so cute. Let's see. Maisie got the notification for Unplugged a few days before, so arrived by the date. I laughed. An international reader. I know. I saw a read. It'll take a little bit longer to get there, obviously, but yeah. And hopefully it reaches you safely. It's always packaged very nicely from Unplugged. Everything's always very safe. Opening my tablet and starting up the hotspot so I can bingo with you. Woohoo! You know what? If there's priorities, man. You got to finish your JR Ward. But yes, hopefully you enjoy.
Similar genre,
I had my
though.
Yeah. Good morning, Siobhan. Thank you.
Good morning.
My cousin was like, I can't wait to like settle in and read the book. And I was like, you are a part of my ARC team. She was like, oh my gosh, I have like Lyme's disease brain, and I completely forgot I'd read your book. She's like, I'm still gonna read it.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
okay. It's like, you did read it though. She had totally forgotten. I was like, that's okay. Yes. In terms of like first year sales, right? There was like that Twitter statistic going around about traditional publisher or traditional author sales in the first year, and like numbers that they produce. And yes, I did do better.
Yes.
I'm not mad. Like I said, I'm very happy with the way the last year went. If anybody has questions about the last year, I'm happy to answer them. It was a wild ride, man. There was a learning curve. I also have rum-soaked gummy bears. Excuse me.
As a planner, Julie, how did you plan out the series after knowing it was going to become a series?
That's ridiculous. Amber's laughing because she knows that this is my biggest pain point. I didn't plan out the series at all.
That's technically
I went into. Well, okay. I planned
the
out the
first
series.
iteration. You did plan the first iteration, the whole series. Did that stay?
No, because I came to these giant plot points at the end of each story that changed the entirety of the next book. So then I had to like adjust on the fly. The end of book 2, it like the cliffhanger at the end of book 1 is nothing on the cliffhanger at the end of book 2. And so it really adjusted, how I had to look at things. I knew, with the exception of one relationship, how all of the relationships played out. throughout the entirety of the series. I understood my character progression in that term, but in terms of like plot progression or these threads that I wove through, and I got to like drafting book 3 and I went, I don't know how to wrap this up. Like, how do I do this? Like, I don't know how this particular villain comes to, justice, or do they or don't they, or how does this particular thread wrap up? I'm editing it now and I still don't know. So it was not easy. Had I to do it again, I probably would not have started to publish with a series. Probably not.
Yeah, I'll stick to my standalones. Thank you.
Yeah, probably not. I'm still pre-ordering just because I'm waiting to binge the series. Does not mean I will stop pre-ordering. Thank you so much. And I understand the binging. I'm glad. The really interesting thing, and I've talked about this with both Kate and Amber, is that at each time this big revelation came, I realized how much I'd already laid the foundation for that thing to happen. I just didn't know that thing was going to happen yet. So it was all there. And so when that thing happened, I didn't have to go back and weave in all of the ways that it led up to that particular thing. It was very natural. And I didn't know that was what was happening, but I had led up to it naturally in the writing, which was really cool.
It's almost like your brain knew what it was doing before it told you.
But I never got that as a writer. I never understood that, like, oh, the characters just tell me what happens. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, I plot it. That's how I know what happens. Like, when authors were like, I didn't know that this was going to happen. And I'm like, how could you wrote it? How could you not know? And then I'm like, oh, that's how. Got it.
Sometimes when you're writing, it feels like you're not there and it's coming from a different place. Like you're just the fingers that tell the story that's coming from somewhere else. And I think that it was the first time I'd ever heard anything like that was, I think, Dean Koontz. And he talked about, people asked him, like, where do you get your ideas? And he was like, they're not my ideas. I sit and write, and a little gremlin sits on my shoulder and tells me the story. And that was like his way of describing, like, it comes from somewhere else,
Yeah.
Because he writes like horror and stuff. But I was always like, that's kind of how it feels sometimes. Well, at least for a pantser, but
yeah.
Well, especially when you're hitting those big moments too, like those cliffhangers or whatever, because you're like, it like hits you and you're like, oh, okay. It's sometimes it's not, like most of the time when I plan, I feel like I know where it's going, but then you have those little moments, which Amber, you always have those. So that's really cool to experience that.
Yes. Caitlin just released her book. Show your book. Show your pretty book. I got a pretty book.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
It is a psychological thriller.
2 weeks before me?
Yeah. The 13th.
Just came out. February 5.
She's nice and thick.
Guys.
She is. Mine's signed.
I'm waiting. I want mine signed in person.
We'll sign it next time.
She could re-sign it. She could re-sign it at highlights. But yeah. I feel very, very lucky. I failed the quiz miserably. Oh no.
I did too, didn't I? When I took it as like a test. I took it as like a test, and I was like, I got all of this wrong.
I mean, as I make it,
I read it a lot longer ago than everyone else.
Yeah. I made it, and I'm like, these aren't hard. She's like, you wrote it. You know them. I was like, I guess.
Yeah, I think I read it really early on. Like, me and Amber read it simultaneously, right? Okay.
Yeah, you guys did. But my mom and my sister were both like, I have to reread book 1 first. And
name Jess's comment.
And I was like, I think I think I did okay at like summarizing book 1 so that you don't have to go back and reread, but like probably not a bad idea for my sister and my mother who aren't big readers and like that information does not retain. I was like, go do that. I got a 7 out of 9. Not bad, especially since I haven't read the book. That's great.
Means you are intuitive and you guessed correctly.
That is my cousin Christine, who forgot that she read my book. She's like, it's just new every time I read it. You have the brain that most readers wish they had, because they always want to re-experience their favorite books the first time again. They're like, I wish I could recapture that first reading experience. Christine gets it every time she reads a book. I mean, not fantastic why, but like,
I'm like, it's kind of sad.
I know, but it's not. I know. I'm so glad you like it. Yeah. The original covers for A Curse and Ash and a Prophecy are very bright and vibrant. And then they're here somewhere. Nope, that's the wrong one. Yep, here we go. So the original editions are very bright, right? Like they work together. And then the exclusive is this like darker navy. So we went with a more jewel tone. I am not discouraging anybody else from sharing what that looks like. I am just waiting a little bit longer to make sure that everybody has time to like get the book before I personally post about it. So if anybody else wants to, you're more than welcome to post about the exclusive cover. I'm just waiting a little bit longer to make sure more people have a chance to get it before I start sharing it, because I feel like it's a lot easier to get spoiled if I share it versus other people. So I'm waiting just a little bit. But I'm so glad you like it. I think they look fantastic together. And I also think that book 2 for the exclusive edition lends itself so well to fall pictures. And I am here for it. I'm waiting for them. I can't wait to see them. So if you take any pictures of the book and post it anywhere, use the hashtag, because I want to know about it.
I'm going to take pictures because our leaves are really pretty up here right now.
Do it.
I'm so
How's everybody doing on their bingo?
Never get pretty. They just go from green to brown and then they fall.
Yeah, move up here. I'm still waiting. Ours here are not fantastic, but I'm going a couple places over the next week where I think I can get good pictures.
What colors do you want most? I have yellows, I have orange, I have red. What do you want?
I think the yellow, orangey reds are going to look amazing. I even think it's going to look really pretty against like a pile of just like the dry ones, like when you still get them and they've got
get
like, a
those
color,
here,
but they're still, but our dry ones still have color to them. Like they're not just straight brown. They're still like a hue. Yeah, they're all crinkly. I think they'll be pretty.
Do not.
I'll send you some leaves, Amber. I'll mail them.
Mail me just a thing of leaves.
Just a mailer of leaves to take pictures with. Finished it yesterday. Did you reread it again?
Book. She's talking about Kate's book.
Oh, she just finished Kate's book. I was like, nice, you didn't reread mine.
You're just behind. She wrote that like as we were talking about Kate's book.
Yeah. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
It's so pretty. It's very nice. Highlights, you say? That writing retreat? Bingo square, y'all. Ooh, it is on there. There is a highlights bingo square.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I took a picture of Winterwood here. And you see, they're just brown.
Yeah.
They're just dead. Cool, they're just dead.
I missed 3. 5 out of 9 on the quiz. I didn't think it was going to be that hard. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm happy to get halfway. I'm glad. I totally don't have a list of bingo squares as prompts to chat about. I'm waiting for like all of the emojis to just show up in the comments. Yeah. So here's my question. For those of you who have read the book and are excited about book 2, what is something that you're most looking forward to?
As far as
anything
in the book?
I found this on the web.
No, in my life. What are you hoping for in my life during book 2? Yes, in the book.
Well, don't spoil book 1 for anybody that hasn't read it yet.
It's an anniversary show. Listen at your own risk.
No, you still can't spoil.
You can say what you hope. 8 out of 9 in my head. Weirdness from Scotland. That's the one I knew was going to get everybody, because I have had readers across the board who weren't sure where he was from. And I did pick 3 countries that were very close.
Yeah.
I didn't read the question well enough. What kind of test taker are you? Woohoo!
I'm just a little bit sad that no one else but me. I know, even though I like that no one else but me, but I am sad that no one else but me got to meet like evil Brynock. Because he was supposed to be evil in like the very, very, very first draft. And he was in like 2 scenes, like tiny paragraphs.
He was truly bad.
I was like, Julie, who is this? I need more of this.
Yeah.
I need this.
Yeah. In the
he jumped off the page as evil Brynock, and he jumped off the page as good Brynock, but I love evil characters. I'm a horror nut, so
yeah, he's a much different version of himself, but you did see the first one. I'm excited to photograph when they get there. It's going to be lovely. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, I am looking forward to all the sexy scenes again in book 2 when I read it again before I read book 3.
Mm-hmm. Are we going to talk about some spicy scenes, Julie?
We can talk. I've been eating rum-soaked gummy bears. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Oh gosh, that's traffic.
Oh no!
But I'm glad it was a nice view.
Yeah, that would be pretty though. Sexy time.
Excuse me.
That kind of hot. If anybody has the flame emoji, definitely the relationship among the 3 of them. That does for sure continue, and I think it really does only get stronger and stronger. You guys have read book 2, but that was one of the things that I was most proud of when people were talking about book 1, or when people would share reviews with me on book 1, was that they appreciated the relationship and the communication and the respect that the 3 of them have, or even among the friend groups. Because that's probably what I personally focus on the most, or think is one of my strengths. So that's super important to me. I think I'm doing them justice.
I think you are too.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's progressing in a very like natural way that feels right for them. Bry's POV. That was by far the biggest complaint for book 1, was that Bry didn't have a POV, and he was always going to. He was just never going to have one in book 1.
It felt
and I
kind
understand.
Of spoilery if you did have a POV. A little spoilery for the first book, so it makes sense.
Yeah, because he knows things that the reader didn't need to know yet, and you couldn't really not have him think about it it would just not work out. And besides, book 1 was really about Reardon and Ash creating this new connection, so, but it is nice when you guys read book 2. It is nice that Brynock is more in the fold and literally, and it's great.
He's in the folds.
Do I see a sense of blush, Julie?
No. There have been times, less with book 2, more with book 3, where I'm like, Amber's seen me, like I've been on here and I've been like editing, and I'm like, oh my god. She was like, I'm like, I wrote things. Like, things are happening. But do I think I'm giving the readers and the characters what they deserve? Also, yes. But like,
yeah, because what did your editor say when she got to book 2?
She asked for more spicy scenes. She's like, can we get like 1 or 2 more? And I was like, yeah, you can. I was like, do you think that's necessary? I was like, I didn't want to like overload it. And she's like, no, it's what the people want. And she's like, by people, I mean me. So if we could just have more of those. I was like, you got it, Megan. I could do that.
It's the best kind of editor.
The best kind of editor.
She's like, everything's great. It's good. Can we get more sex, please?
Yeah. I think that like one of the scenes towards the end, I had them like just kind of like reconnect. I had like a reconnection scene like after like a big event, and they were like having like a movie and pizza night, and she was like, "Can they maybe bang it out there instead of like movie and pizza?" And I'm like, "Sure, I could do that." She was like, I feel like that's what we want. That's what we need." And I was like, "All right." So if you get a couple extra, you can thank Megan. And not ironically, it was a pain in the butt. But originally for book 2, there were more POVs. And for book 3, there were more POVs. So when I originally drafted book 2, I had 2 additional POVs to what we have in there. So I had 5 total. It was intense. No, I didn't. You
had 4.
No, I had 1 additional POV in book 2, but when I fast drafted book 3, I added another one, so we had 5.
Oh, okay.
So
because I was like, wait, I don't remember reading.
Yeah, book 2 originally was going to have a POV from Letty, that just ended up not being strong enough, so that went away. And then book 3 was going to have a POV from Brina, and Letty was going to continue a POV, and I was like, it's messy. It was a little beyond what I could do and do justice to their stories. Do you know what I mean?
It took too much time away from the 3. It did. So
yeah.
We need more of them.
They're not the story. So I get it. But the Bry's POV was definitely necessary. I understand. I'm glad to give it to him and give it to you. He needed it. I saw that it was an Irish name. You cheetah. It is. It very much is. I'm the kind of chess taker who was multitasking, wasn't actually trying to win, but also you were dead. Yeah, that's valid. I appreciate you being here. Eat my shorts. Noted. If your character has TikTok accounts, what type of TikTok pages would they have? Oh my. I feel like Ash would probably have a BookTok account. She's a reader. Or something like witchy, account. You know how there's like, there's like witch talk. I feel like she'd probably have like a witchy account. And then Reardon would have like a music account. He'd just get on lives and like play his guitar and like hang out. And then Bri would be thirst traps. He wouldn't like it. And he'd probably object to it. But like from a PR standpoint or just like we need the humans to trust the Fae standpoint, he'd be like, I'll take one.
I feel like Ash would secretly start one for him and put like unknown thirst traps on there. And then when she would tell him, she'd be like, "But look, you've already got like 10,000 subscribers." And he would be like, "What? Take another one. Take another one. Take another one."
That'd probably be what it would.
Like, have you seen those TikToks where people are like, "I got to pay the bills this week," and when like their spouse isn't looking, they take pictures of their feet? I feel like that would be Ash with Bri not. Like he'd be getting out of the shower and she's like, she's like, "Mama's got to pay the bills."
Yeah. Uh-huh. I love that question.
That's a good question.
They would definitely have TikTok because it's just so prevalent right now, right?
Yeah, no.
I know I say that wrong, just so you know.
Just got a bingo. I know I don't, but I'd like to. You cannot. However, once you win your bingo, you can put your bingo hashtag. They're all in the description. For which prize you want to win, and then we're going to pull that. We've got a generator here, so I'm going to share a screen, and I'll pull the winners live, and you'll be able to see who won. And if you're not here when I pull them, make sure I have a way to get in touch with you. I think most of you I do. I think most of you can reach out to me on social media or something, but maybe come back at the end and make sure you look at the description box. But it's all there. It's all there. The communication shall continue. And I think it only strengthens for them because naturally their relationship progresses and the communication has to like continue in a way that just, makes sense for them. You're right. Yes, put your hashtags in here. Put your hashtags in the comment because the prize generator will pull from the comments. So in here in the live stream, like comments, just put your hashtag. Yeah. The hashtag bingo name, hashtag bingo sprint, or hashtag bingo bundle. And if you don't mind which one you win, you can put all three. You're only going to win one, but like you can put them all in there. Or if you're only interested in one, just put that one. Whatever you want to do. Also, no, see, I got you.
You can keep playing.
You can keep playing. You can pull up another board for yourself if you want. You can continue to play, but you can also, on that one win, you can put in for each one of your prizes if you would like. Yes. Just get to sit for a second. It's been a lot.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So since now you have the time behind you, a whole year since book one released, is there anything that you would have done differently about how you released it? Like in hindsight. Anything you wish you would have done?
No. I mean, there were definitely like complications that kind of arose in the publication process, but they weren't things that I necessarily had control over. And I still think I went the best route for myself at the time. Even still, you know, I published the same way for book two. And in terms of my pre-order campaign, or, you know, having a launch online, because that's what felt safest to me, like all that kind of stuff, I think the only thing that I might have changed had I, you know, had the confidence to do it is working with Main Point Book earlier, working with my local indie bookstore earlier. I didn't feel like I had the clout or the leg to stand on to kind of go to them and ask for exclusive signed copies, or to, you know, start a partnership with them as like an author that didn't have any, you know, kind of sales or another title behind them. So if anything, probably that, just because it was a really, really cool experience to go in and sign those books for you guys for book two. And I could have been supporting a local indie bookstore sooner, as opposed to, you know, big chain bookstores. So if anything, probably that. But in terms of my marketing or, you know, the process of publication or vlogging it and being like open and transparent about that, like I'm really happy with the way that it went. And I'm happy with it this time too. I think, you know, each time I get a little bit better, I get a little bit more used to the process, a lot less stressed, you know, because I understand the way things are going to go. Book one was a lot of like unknowns, and then this time I kind of knew what I was expecting, so it went a lot smoother.
And then once all three are out, you'll have even more things to do.
Yeah.
Continuously. Maybe an audiobook.
It's on the dream board. The audiobook is on there. And then I really, you know, I have other books that I already have written that I need to work on and hopefully, you know, get published as well. And I don't think I'm going to be returning to fantasy or series anytime soon. I've been really, really enjoying writing contemporary romance, and I think that's probably where I want to kind of continue to. I love magic, and I'm sure at some point I'll have like something again, but for right now, it isn't where my focus is. But this story legitimately is one that I can't even pinpoint when it came to me or where it came from, because it was so long ago. I just know that these characters, like, I would not have been happy as a writer, as an author, without sharing their story. Like, it was important to me that it get out there.
It's your gremlin.
Yeah. I like your answer, because I feel like other authors need to realize that just because you're new doesn't mean you can't reach out to your local indie and try to set something up. So I do like your answer.
Thank you. Every now and then, I know what I'm doing. I'm playing Blackout Bingo now. Yeah, I'm not sure what the first hashtag is, but yes, you did do it correctly. And then we'll pull those. It'll be great. Yes, if you guys have any questions, let me know. But it was a learning curve, and I'm very, very grateful to Caitlin specifically because she has experience with publishing and I did not. And I had a lot of like panic and anxiety. And am I doing it right? Am I doing enough? It was really difficult for me to have to be in the process of editing a book and publishing a book while drafting a book, and kind of getting used to that shift in mindset between the imperfections of drafting and then the perfectionism of editing at the same time, and kind of like switch your brain back and forth. I struggled with that a good bit. I'm better with it now that I've done book 2 and book 3 at the same consecutive times. Like for book 2, I had to market book 1, edit and publish book 2 while drafting book 3. And then, you know, as I publish book 2, I'm editing book 3, you know? So like I always have these things in the pipeline where I'm doing multiple parts of the process at the same time that require different parts of my author brain, which I've learned to see as a strength, because when I get like burnt out of one kind of like brain function, I can switch to another task. But by far, I think my weakest part of the process is the marketing. And I like dug my heels in and I got so resentful that like I had to do the hard work of writing it, and I had to do the hard work of selling it. And then I have to also do the hard work of marketing it. Like I am not a marketing business major. This is unfair. It's too much. And I would like dig my heels in, and Kate's like, we gotta do something. Like, it's okay. It's going to be okay. And I was like, but what if it's not enough? Or what if it's not good enough? She's like, you can only do as much as you can handle. And I was like, but what if it's not, what if I'm not good enough? It was stressful.
You are good enough. It is stressful, like the first time you do it, especially if you don't have any, you know, background with it. I sort of had to navigate on my own, so that's why I'm happy to like share my process at any point. And you know, we're publishing in a really great time now too, with a lot of options for authors and a lot of options for good stories to be out there. So I'm glad you found a home for yours.
I am too. I'm very happy with it. I'm good. There's no dumb questions. It is a trilogy. Originally I thought I'd do it as a duology, and that's a bold-faced lie. So it did switch to a trilogy, and then I have these storylines that took place for Letty, for Brina, for these side characters that I really, really love. I love Brielle. Like I love these characters, and I don't know if eventually I might want to do some kind of like novellas that I maybe just put up as ebooks. And do kind of like on my own if I really feel like I need to tell their stories, but it will only be the 3 books in the trilogy. And then if I decide at some point that like I want to break from like full novel writing and I want to just hang out with a novella and hang out in the world and with the magic and with the characters again, I might do that. That's something that I'm kind of tossing around, but just the 3 in the trilogy. So I think it's amazing that you've taught yourself to do so many different skills. It's a lot, and at times it really did feel like unfair, and I just was just like, I shouldn't have to do this. I'm not going to do it. I'm like, that's not an option. And so we just got to like, I just had to calm myself down. But it's a lot, you know. It's not something that I'm able to do without putting in a lot of time and a lot of energy. It's something that I work on every single day. So every day I'm doing something, whether it's marketing, editing, writing, you know, like some part of the process is happening all the time. And that's what I choose to spend my time on. So it's just a priority that I've made for myself, but it's a lot.
Well, it's also like a misconception too, that like, once your book is out, like you just have to move to the next one and like never look back. Like you can always go back and do whatever you need to do with your books, especially with, you know, an indie press like yours or self-publishing. Like you can always go back. So
yeah,
they're not just going to die once you publish them.
No. And that's one of the things that I learned too, is that which you helped me with a lot, was that the marketing for like book 1 is a completely different strategy than the marketing for book 2. And then the marketing for a series is completely different than all of that. And that a lot of marketing strategies really only work once you have the full trilogy out. But it's very hard to like market book 2 as its own thing. Like you really have to just kind of keep pushing people towards book one and get them invested in the series. So there's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's always room to play with those things and to, learn as you go and continue to make stuff better.
Mm-hmm. Or even, remarketing a different way, or, when you get audiobooks, that's remarketing.
Mm-hmm.
When you do a box set, that's remarketing, exclusive editions, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's definitely ways to give it new life if you're not getting the exposure or the readership that you're hoping for. I'm very, very lucky that my readers have been very kind to me, and I've been doing well. Hopefully that continues, but there's no guarantees. It's the fun thing about publishing, right? You're like, oh, it could all be gone tomorrow. I really do hope I get to tell their stories at some point. Like I said, I have 3 contemporary romance novels that are already ready for, 2 that are ready for editing, because I want to rework one that I queried. And then one that's 75,000 words in. So I got a lot of books in the pipeline, so I don't know when the novellas would happen, but I do love these characters. So hopefully at some point. Indie author says, Canva is amazing. Yes, it is. Canva is how I do everything. That's how I do all of my, you nailed it. Canva is how I do all of my marketing. Normally with templates that Kate provides, because I feel like she does them better than I do.
it's funny.
And then I take said templates and use them as well. So
yeah,
I probably copied it from someone else, so don't worry about it.
It's fun. I did find a lot of joy actually in creating like promotional movies or clips or like aesthetic boards and different like shareable images and things, because as somebody who has aphantasia and doesn't see pictures in their head, being able to put visuals to my story was really cool for me. I was like, oh, this is what this thing is. This is what this thing looks like. Like I love doing that. It was fun.
I think you're a lot better
yes.
at it than you think you are.
Thank you. But Canva is great. Hi, Sabian. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it. Thank you. While it's still fresh in your head, there's a quiz listed down below. If you get one of the high scores, you can win some cool stuff or a bingo board. And you can join Amber and I on sprints, because I know you're in our sprints sometimes. But yeah, I've been lucky. That is one thing too that I learned in terms of like a learning curve over the past year, is that I don't belong on any sort of reviewing websites. It's like I don't want to know. I don't want to be there. I can't look at my own books, and I'm very, very lucky that Kate and Amber both kind of go on there and pull the good ones, pull the constructive criticism, and then I don't have to see anything that might not be flattering. It's not great for an author, and I especially not in the middle of a series. Like I didn't want to be influenced by what people hoped happened next. Like I hope this happens, or I hope that happens. Like I don't want that in my head. Which is good that I was already like done book 3 before, well before book 2 came out, so that I don't have to. I've always been a book ahead, so I don't have to worry about that. But probably also just would not be great for anybody's mental health to be to be reading those.
No.
Thank you, Christian. I am happy to be doing it. And I'm also really glad that over the last year, with this process and being very transparent with this process, that I was able to share my vlog from drafting to publication, that I've been able to talk about the process with people, because genuinely my DMs and my like author newsletter emails have been really fantastic, with people who were like equally either motivated or encouraged to continue in their journey because they saw somebody in the community doing well. So I personally, I'm just selfish and I love having it for myself to look back on, but I love that it can be used also as a way to motivate other people. It's a happy coincidence.
Yeah, I started my journey by connecting on Twitter with an author that I was following. So, I realized they had a full-time job. I had a full-time job outside of writing, and it was okay. And, so definitely share your stories when you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like I'm different than a lot of writers because I've actually really cultivated like a career in my job, and it's not a career that's as easy to come by in like the technology world, And so like I don't really have as much of a dream of like I really want to quit my job and be a full-time writer that a lot of people have. Would I love to be at the level that I could? Yes, but it's not something I strive for because it would take a lot for me to give up my career with something that's not as steady, with writing is. But it is good. Like it is good to see, I didn't know that there was other people like that on Twitter until I got out there and started seeing them. So it is good to connect with other writers, and everybody has their own dreams and their own ways of getting there. And sometimes somebody could say like, oh, I really want to do this. And you're like, oh, that sounds fun. I want to do that too. I have to go help my mom into the house though. So I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. No, everybody's journey to here is very different. So no, he's okay. But I didn't yeah, no, I'm excited to keep going. I'm excited to see the trilogy through. I'm excited to, bring the story hopefully to a really satisfying conclusion for everybody. I'm truly really excited to see, once something is over, I've been done, kind of hands off from book 2 for months now as I work on book 3. So at this point, I'm not as close to it anymore, but you always hope when something comes out that it's well received. And I learned when releasing A Curse and Ash that it was okay to just let it go and it's its own thing now. And it lives outside of me. And I'm glad that it was kindly received. And I'm hoping that those who loved A Curse and Ash are also, really satisfied with book 2.
I think
that's all you can hope for. Yeah.
And you follow the story where it needs to go. I mean, you put a lot of hard work into that, making sure that the threads are pulling through and, everything is honest and real as it can be in a fantasy.
Sure. Of course. But I that's one of the things that I wasn't, I guess I didn't anticipate quite as much is that like, oh, this is fantastic. People love the book and that's amazing. But then there's this like, oh, I really hope I live up to their expectations for the next books. I know I can only do the best that I can do, and I can only do what feels right for my story and my characters. But like, I hope the readers also think that it's like, a genuine, authentic place for these characters to go, which is interesting. I clicked the quiz and my brain went blank. It's okay, Savion. It's just for fun. Yeah. You never know.
No, my mom was here.
It's for the bingo board, Amber. Just say yes.
Just say yes.
Choo!
I know. I think I had somebody like eating something, and I was like, I know I'm going to need. I ate gummy bears, so you're welcome.
So technically.
Like that off. Also, I think on there somebody had their like favorite ship or like who their favorite characters were. I'm curious who, if you've read book 1, who your favorite side character is. I definitely
Brina. All day, every day, forever and always, it will be Brina. She is my queen. I love her. I mean, like, she could literally kill me and I would thank her.
It's valid. That's
I
valid.
could lump together the friend group. Lump them into one.
Yeah.
'Cause I love that.
I do love them. They are fantastic. Okay, also just as a side note for bingo, I think which one of those, the name and the joining us on sprints are totally valid for international. The bundle, I can also do international too. The shipping on that is fine. We're good on that. For the quiz, because it's books, it's for US, but I have options for my international friends for that. So stick around. But yeah. Also, would you guys be interested in more annotated chapters for book 2? The annotated chapters, if you did not know, I do have annotated chapters for the first 2 chapters of A Curse in Ash, where I put like my thoughts and like what I was thinking when I was writing them. I'm curious if you'd be interested in that for book 2, because by far, for all of my freebies and like little side chapters and novella kind of stuff that I give away for free, that one did the best by far. So if you're interested, let me know. And then I will kind of get on the ball for annotating book 2, and I'll continue to have those for giveaways.
Well, that's like such your brand too for annotations, because that's what you do
The annotations
for a lot of your books. So it like makes sense.
I do it for all of the ones that I read personally. So yeah.
How was that going through the book and looking at it?
I hated
from
it.
Like
I hated it.
From like a different, like further back perspective.
I hate it. It was the worst experience of my life. I was like, that sentence could have been better, you know, like it's just one of those things where I was like, I probably shouldn't, I don't want to go back, but I got smart this time around. And for book 3, as I go through with my edits, I'm like highlighting like the things that I think are like really good lines, like really super quotable that I can use for like, you know, advertising or like memes and different like things for like Instagram. So I was like, I'm ahead of the game. I'm already doing it because I don't want to have to do this again. This is for the birds. But I think I have part of book 1 or book 2 already kind of like tabbed up and annotated. I don't know where it is, but it's one of these copies. And I don't want to go digging through because my Unplugged is back there behind one of them. But yeah, it was interesting. I was happy because I realized that there were, especially for book 1, so many places where a story or a scene had changed so drastically from the first iteration to the last that it was like an interesting fun fact for me to share. Or I was able to express why certain storylines or themes or character decisions were so important to me. Like I like being able to share those things. But from like a looking at my writing standpoint again, not a fan.
Just wait till you get an audiobook.
Oh my gosh. I can't. Brina's great. And Trent. He's kind of great. You can type. You're good. Yeah, I don't know. I liked Dawn just as like a little like magical mentor for Ash. I appreciated her, but I do have a soft spot for Letty and Trent and their friendship with Ash as like a grounding kind of like home base for her. I appreciate that. Brina's pretty badass. I also really like
love Letty though. I do love Letty.
Yeah.
So.
Is there a character?
Shoshana scares me.
Okay, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a character that you cut from the original that you would care to discuss why?
Yeah, I had so originally her friend group was a lot larger. We have Tara and Kara, we have Trent and Letty, but there was like other characters that were in there too. I forgot about Sean for a second, but there was more. Like I definitely had more people that were in there that Reardon met, so that he had like a friend group of his own outside of Ash and her friends. And I also had a larger friend group for Ash herself, just because this is her hometown. So like you figure she's there for like X amount of time. It's high school, it's college, it's all this stuff. So she would have like a larger base of friends. She's a social person. But it muddied the waters, and it was just like too many names. And it, in the end, when I looked at like the end of the story, and like the big pivotal moments, they weren't a part of those moments, and they didn't impact how the story played out. So they ended up having to, having to go just for clarity's sake. So that's kind of like the one place where I really brought back the amount of characters, was like within their friend groups. Everybody else stayed. And again, I think that's partially me kind of being unwilling to cut people. Not that people couldn't have been cut out of it, but I just, I focus so heavily on the relationships and on the connections that people have, that for me, their characters were so tied to some of like their family. Like Bry's character is so tied to like his past and his family, and Ash's, character is so tied to her past and stuff. And having that like support system of new found family and stuff was really important to me. So like there were some people I wasn't willing to get rid of.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the question. I hate cutting people, but that was another thing. So like Megan wanted less people, more sex. So that's what I gave her. She's like, do we need these people? I was like, no, I guess not. Which was the same thing that I did when you guys went, do we need their POV? Like, I'm not sure this storyline is like strong enough to carry its own POV or take time away. And I'm like, no, I guess not, but I really like them.
I know that like, was difficult as a CP to, I think I messaged you, Amber, on the side, and I was like, this is how I feel. Did it come across the same way? And she's like, yeah, like it wasn't bad or bad chapters, but like as a reader, when you're like, have a, many points of view and you're like excited to get to the next one, and then there's one that you're just like, about, like that's indicative of, maybe it shouldn't be in there. But that was really hard because I know how you dive so deep into these characters. So that was difficult, but she's still there.
Yeah.
In spirit.
She's still there. And it made the book so much stronger. So I appreciate the honesty. That's one thing I'm never going to be upset about, is anything I can do to make the story stronger. I'm always going to be there for.
Yeah, I think whenever we first talked about it, I was like, first of all, how dare you? She's amazing. And I was like, but I see your point. Like, I see what I'm picking up what you're putting down. Like,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was like, I agree with you, but I'm not happy about it.
I know. I wasn't either, but I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, similarly to your question, it's because I consider myself so character focused. It's hard when a character doesn't make it in, or when, like, even in book 3, there's storylines that I would love to explore more, but they don't lend themselves to like the larger story. And they really slow down the story in a way where like it doesn't make sense to tell them. So all of those scenes go into separate folders, where if I decide to tell, somebody's story in a novella later, I can include them and I can still use them. So I'm not getting rid of them. But yeah, it's tough because I know the characters, and I know, I would love to show you guys their growth and their journey and their behind the scenes, because I think in terms of them in general, like Letty specifically has, she's got a lot going on in her life, and I would love to tell that story. And Brina has a lot going on. I think she's a really dynamic character, and I would love to tell her story, but in the end, it doesn't actually suit the progression of the story. So it's tough, but I will always do what makes my story stronger, and not having her POV really did make the story stronger. So you do what you got to do. I don't get too precious about, killing off characters in terms of like getting rid of POVs, or, making the cuts that need to be made. If I know that it gives the reader a better story. I know
we've had those conversations where you looked at me and you were like, I think so and so. I think they gotta die. I think it's gonna make it better. And I was like, no, maybe. Yeah, it might work.
I know. Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to kill them, Amber.
I'm not having a good time.
I do like Amber as well as a side character. I do really like her.
I wonder why. Yeah.
But
you're like, does she stay? I'm like, she can.
To this question, you're a very character driven person. So it is harder for you to come to terms with cutting characters out of the story completely. That's different than killing them. Cutting them out completely where they don't exist is probably really hard for you. For me, I feel like I'm very plot driven. So if somebody was like, this character doesn't make sense, I'm like, they are gone, out of here. I don't get as attached to this, like all of my characters, I guess, just because I don't think of character first. I think of like, is it good for the plot? Because I'm plot driven.
Yeah.
What about you, Kate?
Yeah.
Plot driven.
You're the same way as me. It's like they're out, they're gone, bye.
Yeah,
never
I
existed.
sometimes struggle with like not enough characters. Like I feel like a lot of mine are very insular, but that could just be like my personality too.
I do the same thing. I'm like, ooh, like with my story I'm writing right now. I'm like, she's already got 2 friends. Like, is that too much? Like, I don't know.
I do the same thing. I'm like, everyone always has just one friend because that's all I can handle in real life at a time.
And Julie's over here making these like 10-person like friend groups and having to cut some of them out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, is more than one friend too much?
That's wild to me.
I'm also very, I've never been one to have like a big friend group ever. I've always had like 1 or 2 good friends and like that's it. So
yeah.
I've been lucky. I have larger friend groups, but I also am just so fascinated with the way that people interact with one another and the way different relationships like grow and present themselves from like my psychology driven brain, like the way that
does someone have
family relationships. Does somebody have a degree in psychology? How does that work out? Which is why I think like that's why I write the way that I write, is that I am so fascinated with the way that different relationships grow and build. Like Ash's relationship with Reardon is based and grows in a very different way than it does with Bri, and Bri and Reardon's relationship like is founded and starts in like a much different way than anybody else's. And the friend group versus the family groups that are involved in the stories are very, very different. And I love that showing.
Brynock and Reardon's relationship, how they feel about each other, is one of those beautiful like progressions that I've ever seen in 2 people, because it starts out as so antagonistic, and they're really kind of like don't like each other, and just to grow to be, very like caring and loving of each other throughout book 1. At the end where, he's like, no, we're in this together, man. It's just really beautiful. And more than people know, because I know the long-term goals of how every character progresses. So it's just a really beautiful thing to see how they change and grow. And,
yeah,
I really liked it.
And that for me is the most fun part of writing is exploring the character arcs and the character growth and the way that the relationships play out. And then, so I can write that no problem. That I'm like, I don't know, like this in book 2 or book 1, this person's on the run, and I like, or this person did this thing. Like, what do I do with that? I'll leave it for book 3. Like, I don't know how that doesn't. I don't know. Do I know how exactly every relationship in the book ends up? Yes, absolutely. Do I know the full arc of each character from beginning to end and how they grow or don't? Also, yes. Do I have any idea how the plot resolves itself? Nope. So buckle up, because I really went, you know what I should do? A full 3-book series where I just add conflict and threads that need resolution throughout all. I'm like, I'll answer like 1 in book 2, and then I'm going to leave the other 8 for book 3. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I That's why
But
we
I'm-
have
I mean-
editors and CPs. We'll help
That
you out.
developmental editor, man, she's a blessing. I struggle with adding friends or like making plans with friends to expand said friendship, both in real life and in
Yes.
writing.
I agree. I'm with you.
I feel like I'm
Fair.
better at it in real life than I am in writing, but I feel like I write characters that wouldn't necessarily have the easiest time making friends.
Mm.
So it makes sense for them, and it's part of me. Like I always had kind of a hard time making friends growing up, so because I felt like I was weird. And then now, and with the TikTok age, and you see all these, and like, did you do this as a kid? And I'm like, I literally had the same childhood as everybody else. I was the same person as everybody else, and yet I thought I was the weirdo. Everybody else was doing the same thing as me. Why didn't I just become friends with them?
I don't know. I did not. I had a very active friend group and like friendships. That was not ever a problem for me. But I get
You
it.
have a big family
I'm-
as well, too, right? So you
I
have a lot
do.
of those relationships like just built into your
Yeah.
blood.
And then like every one of my characters is like I have like a sibling or I'm an only child. Like none of my characters are like, because I'm even thinking ahead to like my contemporaries. It's like they're lucky if they have a single sibling. There's not like these
little
giant
wish fulfillment
families.
there.
I mean, I don't know. It's just that I know how chaotic it is, and I'm like, I gotta simplify somewhere. You know, like it's
Yeah, see, I couldn't write a big family because I don't know how chaotic it is. I grew up as an only child until I was 14, and then my mom had one other baby, and then I was out of the house by the time he was even old enough to go to school.
Mm.
So, like, I was basically an only child. I don't know
Yeah.
that life of having. My mom tells me stories about her and her sister. They're only a year apart, and they would run and pull each other's hair to try to get to the phone first, and like all these other things. And I'm like, I couldn't even imagine. Like, I was the only one there to answer the phone. Like,
10 out of 10. I think that's why I gave the book Letty. Like I didn't have to like experience it all the time with Ash or write it all the time with Ash, but like Letty and her giant family was like enough to kind of like explore that like social like setting for them. But yeah, it's a little much when you have to like write that as a part of like the main story. I was like, I can't. Because it is
was
a
it
lot.
10 Blind Dates? Is that what it's called?
I feel so called out.
Is that the book 10 Blind Dates?
Yeah.
She has
Yeah.
like a huge family, and you were like, it's like that's how it is. That's exactly
That's
what
how it
it's
is.
like.
It's 1,000% how it is. Yeah.
And I was like, I cannot relate.
We are going to start wrapping up. So if you have a bingo board, go ahead and put your bingo in the comments. And honestly, even if you didn't get bingo, just put your bingo things in the comments. It's fine. I want to give things away.
I don't even know what all the prompts are anymore.
So it is, I will tell you, Amber, it is bingo name. If you got your
No,
bingo
not
and you
those.
would like your name. What?
Like what is on the
squares,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, the bingo squares. Oh, I'm not sure. Well, everybody generated a different board. Like there's a whole bunch of different things. But so hashtag bingo name if you want your name in book 3. Hashtag bingo sprint if you would like to join Amber and I on our Sunday productivity sprints. And then hashtag bingo bundle if you would like some goodies. If you've not already received tarot cards, book plates, bookmarks, and then I'm sure I have other swaggy things that I could throw in there. But yeah, yes.
Okay, Julie, I have a question
Let us
for
know
you.
what you need.
How do you
Yeah.
pronounce the name
no.
of the group of witches?
I don't know.
Try. I need you to
Try.
try for the bingos.
Why are you asking me to make up? Like, I made the word up. I can say it however I want. I don't know how it is. I say it different every time. I usually say Feren, but I don't. It could be something else. But I think I looked up the Irish pronunciation, and I'm relatively sure that's how it's supposed to be spelled and said. I could be.
I need
very
you to
wrong.
stumble over pronouncing a word that you yourself created.
Do you understand that there is that same fear that resides in my body as a person who lives in a household where there is somebody who does not just speak English, like as part of a family that speaks Greek, when I'm not a Greek speaker, but I can speak enough to like communicate if I need to. Every time I speak Greek and their eyes go wide and they're like, say it again. I'm like, no, never. I'll never say anything again, ever. Because I'm sure it's wrong. And B, I'm mortified. And then, so like, anytime that I get awfully like uncomfortable with speaking, and then I'm like, why did I put words in the book that I don't know how to say them? And then I also get Kieran, like Bry's brother. I'm like, is it Kieran? It could be. If somebody said it any other way, I'd also go, yep. Sure.
Also, Brina and Brynock are not the hottest twins you've ever seen, right? Right? Hot twins.
They are.
Hot twins. I'm trying to help people get bingos.
Yeah.
I am shocked that never came up. They are by far the best book twins, and I'm biased, but I don't care. For me, my best friends are family. All my other friends are circumstantial. For example, we're friends at work. We only so they're
Again, it's weird if you ever bring groups together. It's like,
don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. That's instant anxiety.
Yeah.
What do you need? What do you need? I almost got bingo. I get uncomfortable. Do you not see the flush in my cheeks when we started talking about the sexy time simile? You got it.
You're there.
You're there.
Bingo.
You're there. Immediately. What did you actually say?
What's A and B?
Yeah, no, I was.
Huh?
I'm trying to go back up and see.
There is no A and B. I'm not crazy. I mean, but not actually, I don't think.
Brynock is a cinnamon roll.
Aw. He is. He's a little, but he's only soft for certain people.
He's a damn cinnamon roll.
Sorry, Savion. Listen, we're getting them all in right now. Brie, I love you so much. It only lets you enter once. You're good. You're good, my dear. It will filter out anything that's repeated. What is the weirdest thing? That I don't know how to pronounce my own things? Oh, when two friend groups come together. Yep. No. It's because I don't think I act differently with different people, but it's uncomfortable because I always feel like I have to make everybody feel comfortable. And then I feel like I'm very uncomfortable. I think that Sean gets a bad rap, and I think that his progression is pretty cute. He's a good friend. Is he also like a black web drug dealer? Maybe. But like he's a good guy.
I mean, he games.
He's a sweetheart. You're welcome. That's from when you were talking about speaking in Greek. I loathe it. And it's not that I can't do it, but I'm not confident that I can do it. I know I can, but then I say it and I feel like the room stops. And then I go, never again. Mistakes were made. I
think they're just surprised that you speak it so well.
I don't think that's true.
That's what I'm saying is true. I'm manifesting that.
Semele speaks it very well. I do not. Yeah, you said A and B, and I added C. I said A and B.
You're like A, blah blah blah, B, blah blah blah, and then she
got
added C. I can't remember anything.
She's already forgotten. It's okay.
So you can enter bingo for all three of the prizes, but you can only enter once for all three prizes. The comment picker will like nix anybody who repeats the hashtag.
Like so you can do 3 separate comments, one with each hashtag, but once you use that hashtag, you can't re-enter that hashtag. It'll only take it once.
But if you wanted to do the bundle, the sprint, and the name, you can enter all 3 of those.
Yeah, so you can enter up to 3 times, one for each hashtag.
Thank you, Siobhan.
Bye.
Did you enter anything? You should enter the things. Because you can always enter, or you can do our sprints during the day for when we're doing extra nano sprints. Enter the things. and
We
hang
would
out.
probably even figure out a time that worked for you to do one with
Of
you
course we
if
would.
you won. So,
Of course.
because you're in Australia, so you're special.
Yes. Bri is precious, and I want to keep him. You may keep him. Amy, do the other hashtags, because your specific hashtag for like what bingo board you have is not going to be what pulls up. So I'm going to give everybody like one last chance to get your little things in, and then we're going to get to picking. We're going to get to picking.
Did we discuss what
and
we're
then
doing for
I
Nano?
will. Oh no, but we can. And then I will also pick because it's a different form and I don't want to show everybody's email addresses. So whoever gets the best scores on the quiz, I will contact you via email. Whoever gets the best score, I'll email them and they can pick one of the 3 prizes, and then I'll go on down the line to like other people to pick their prizes. So look for an email from Julie Z author. Just check your spam. You should be able to get it everywhere. But Savion, just put them in the comments. It's fine.
So honest.
It's all right. Nano was discussed. Yeah, I am not doing Nano only because I am editing. So I do not have any kind of like drafting goals. But Semele, I see your comment. We're coming for you. Do I know the title of book 3? If so, can you give us a hint like last year's? A P in the A. A P and A. Not in the A. A P and A. Jeez. No, I don't. I don't have a final, like genuinely, I don't have a final title for it, but it will be, because it's the In Ash series, it will be in Ash as well. So I would assume it's a something in Ash. What that something is,
You
I
don't say.
know. What? But I don't know anything else at this moment. Just, yeah, you're good.
And she's definitely not lying on there. Genuinely, she hasn't come to a full conclusion on the title yet. Genuinely, you haven't come. It's not just one of those like authors like, oh, I can't tell you yet. Like you genuinely haven't completely decided.
I have no clue. Amber and Caitlin's full names and book titles so we can support them. Kate, you have a wrench, right? You can do links.
Oh yeah, I can put them in.
I don't have a book for you to support right now. I appreciate that.
Amber does not. She does not have anything else.
Julie will be happy to give you the information when I do one day have a book available. However, Caitlin Duncan has quite a few books out, as both Caitlin Duncan and Katie Duncan. This one is Her Buried Lives. It's a psychological thriller, her newest one. She also has a couple others.
It's in the links. She will have them there.
These
books,
my hand doesn't do that.
All of hers. So they will be there. And then if you have not yet, I love that one. If you have not yet gotten my books, specifically for this person, Ash, there is a giveaway on the story graph for 5 of my print copies and 40 of my ebooks. So if for some reason you have not read my book yet or purchased my book yet, there is a giveaway going for it. If you want to share that giveaway link with your friends and family and let them try to win, they can also do that.
I'm going to try to grab it.
And you can get it if you, I have it right here. I have it up, Kate. I got it. And you guys can do that as well. So let's see.
You're so good.
Because I have it open because I'm like, I always look for like the stats to see how many people have entered. But you can go there or share that link with whomever you want, and they can go and enter for print copies and ebooks. Print copies are US only. Ebooks are international, absolutely anywhere. So there's that. And then all of their links should be down below. Kate's, yours might not be yet, but
she linked it.
Her website will have links for all of her links.
Links for all her links.
Links for all the links. Her website has all of her links is what I'm getting at.
Links for all the things. All the things that she has a link on the website.
You get my unending support and thanks. Oh, what? There is the link. Just CaitlinDuncan.com, and you can figure out all of her books. And then that is the giveaway. That's ridiculous, but just click on that thing.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
then
say
Kate's
no one's gonna type that.
No one's gonna type that in. Kate's website is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
It's like she's an author.
Mm-hmm.
All right, friends, we are going to pull some fun stuff. So
Yay.
I'm going to share a screen, and we're going to pull first for the bundle. So let me get this ready, and then I will share a screen with you, and we will pull some winners. And then all of the quiz winners will be later, so look for those. I shall reach out to you.
Where will you share those? On Instagram, Twitter, here in the after comments, email?
I am emailing them.
Okay.
But then I can also check your email from me, the me. Where in the world
is Carmen San Diego?
Nope, that's not it. I was like, which tab is it? I got it, people. Just give me a second. I promise. I got this. All right. Here we go. We can do it. My computer's just like, you know what? I would like to take forever. Thank you. Please and thank you. All right. So we're going to start first with the bundle. Good luck, everybody. I'm going to start collecting comments.
Good luck.
We've got 4 people who entered. I'm going to click this little draw button. We're going to see who won. Are we ready?
Now, remember, this tricks you at the end.
It does. It does. You think you know, you don't know.
You will never know. Yep.
Yay! All right.
Congrats.
I must write down the people because I will not remember anything.
Easy won the bundle.
I love it. All right. But geez, really? Maisie, I'm pretty sure we follow one another on Instagram. If not, email me. If you go to my channel about section, there's an email address. Email me and or hit me up on a social media DM for your address so I can get you that stuff.
Congrats, Maisie. I love your avatar, by the way. It's very cute.
It is cute.
Yes, it is cute. All right. I'm going to remove that. Let the ladies talk for a second while I try to figure out another one. Because I got to get the next one loaded.
You have to like restart it.
And my computer.
Do you want me to set up the next one and in the background?
You can do that. It doesn't take long once my computer decides that it can run a webcam, a microphone, and everything else all at once. And then it's like, oh, it takes a minute, you know? But thank you for being here tonight. If you have any other questions or anything else that you want to know, let me know. And I'm happy to answer the things.
I want to know, how are you feeling?
Thank you for
now that you're a year out. How are you feeling?
I feel fantastic. It's mildly overwhelming to have, I'm still so excited. It feels like it just came out, and then I literally this week just had another book come out, and then I'm working on another one. So it's mildly surreal, but like in a really great way. So it's okay. Okay. We're going to do bingo sprint.
I can't set it up, by the way. I'm not a producer.
That's fine. I got that. I got this. All right. Let's see who's going to be joining us on the sprints.
Good luck.
And if you're from a different time zone, we will we'll figure out the time that works for you.
Can you add the music cue?
There's a music thing?
There's sounds in StreamYard now.
I don't know.
It would be fun.
The answer is no.
They should have it on their website.
Kate, the answer is no. No. Here we go, people. Yay! You get to join us for a sprint. You're there
That's
anyway
amazing.
most times. So we will figure out a time where we can get you on there.
Be
Also, reach
fun.
out and let me know. Reach out and let me know your availability. We're doing 8 p.m. EST every single Sunday. And then we're also doing through Nano on Saturdays. We're doing 11 a.m. EST. So you can join any one of those or we'll make something else work with you. I will answer Kay's question while I get the next survey ready. I will hopefully be doing my contemporaries through traditional publishing, potentially, maybe. I'm currently, I had queried one story and then I want to rework it a little bit before I send it back out again. But I have another one that's fully written that needs editing, and then another one that's 3/4 of the way written that still needs work. And all are linked in some way, complete standalones. But I'm hoping once I have all of those ready, that they'll be like a really compelling package. And then also now that I have sales numbers for what I can do kind of like on my own, I'm hoping that that is something that is compelling to, you know, an agent. So we will see. All right, friends, we have bingo name. So let's see who is getting, and it doesn't have to be your name. It can be any name you choose within reason. I'm not putting like, you know, Turd Ferguson in my book, but
Oh, that was my choice.
Oh man. You know it's gonna
Oh,
be Turd
man.
Ferguson now.
now it's going to be Turd Ferguson. So let's see who gets to choose a name for the book. 6 entries. This was the big one. This is what everybody wanted. All right, good luck, everybody. Here we go. Also, if you already won something, I'm picking again. So, yay!
Yay! Simile! I'm so excited. That's a perfect name for a fae.
That is. She's also got children. She might choose one of her children's names or just a random other Greek name. Who knows? Someone
I'm
gets
pretty
to pick
sure
whatever she
earlier
wants.
she said she wanted simile in the book.
That's valid, and you can have that. So I can start working that in tonight if you want. I'm excited.
Congrats, everybody.
Great
Congratulations,
job.
everyone.
That was fun.
And I will be in touch with everybody for the quiz. Hopefully it was fun, even if it was a little bit frustrating. I enjoyed putting it together for
challenging.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's okay. In terms of publishing those, it depends. If I go traditional publishing, sometimes it can take a year, 2 years. I mean, it could be any amount of time. If I decide to not do it that way and publish on my own, it'll be a lot faster. But I will not be focusing on any of those until I have book 3 ready to go to the publisher. So it'll be a little bit. I didn't hear any of those stream times. 8 p.m. EST every single Sunday or 11 a.m. EST every Saturday through November. But we can also do something else if it works for you. So
should make a schedule, Julie.
And then all of the A's. I know. Well, they're all already on my channel. So they're already all lined up on my channel. So you can, you know, look at any of those. I'm so excited. She has children. Way to show her. Her favorite child is.
Then.
She could no, her children's names are beautiful, and she could choose to like put them all together in an amalgamation of another name. Or she could also just choose to be a simile, which is completely listen, who knows? We're gonna see. Yay, congratulations. I'm off, kids. Have a great night. Thank you for coming, Jess. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me to celebrate 1 year of A Curse and Ash. It has been an absolutely magical year, and I'm really excited to continue to produce, hopefully, really fantastic books for you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. Hold on one second.
I feel like we should get like some streamers just like.
I know.
They should make that effect on streamer where you can add like.
Well, when you say stuff on the iPhone too, does that, like congrats or whatever. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Or falling
Let's see.
confetti.
My goodness. If anybody had talking to the cat on their card, you can go ahead and add that in because she did not come in to talk to me. She came in to talk to the cat.
Yay!
smiling at her.
There you go. Congrats.
That's too much. But yes, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. As you continue to read the books, make sure you use hashtags, tag me. I want to see it. If you take any pretty pictures for the fall, they're personally, I think they're very beautiful books that lend themselves to pictures. So feel free. I'm glad you stayed awake for it too. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Interrupting was on your bingo board. You got it. Thank you. I'm very happy to do it. Thank you for joining us. And hopefully I will see some of your friendly faces at our Sunday night sprints or in comments on the Writer's Hive or on other videos. For now, it's going to be everything. Thank you so much, Amber and Kate, for joining me tonight. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Congrats again.
No, it was awesome. Thank you. All right, friends, I'm off to continue working. Thank you for joining us.